Good morning, students. My name is CHSV Prasad Rao, Senior Lecturer in Electrical Engineering, and I am working at Government Polytechnic, Yadirgutta. Today, as we are continuing with the AC motor chapter, and today we will continue the chapter 2, that is starters and applications of synchronous motor. In the previous class, we covered from second chapter, that is phenomena of hunting, that is, and uh, premonition of hunting. So how the hunting is reduced. So first, so what we covered in the last class about hunting. So why hunting is produced? When a synchronous motor is used for driving a varying load, then a condition known as hunting or surging or phase swinging is produced. Hunting may also be caused if the supply frequency is pulsating. When a synchronous motor is loaded, then what happens? Its rotor falls back in phase by a certain angle called load angle alpha or coupling angle. As the load is progressively increased, the angle also increased. Then what happened? It produces more torque to bear this increased load. If load on the motor is suddenly reduced, then what happened? The motor immediately pulled up or advanced to a new value of alpha corresponding to a new load. But in this process, the rotor overshoot and hence is again pulled back. In this way, the rotor starts oscillating about its new position of equilibrium corresponding to new value, new load. If the time period of these oscillations happens to be equal to the natural time period of the machine, then mechanical resonance is produced. Then what happens if the amplitude of these oscillations are built up to a large value and may becomes greater, then what happened? The motor thrown out from the synchronism. Hunting is a objectionable characteristic of the synchronous motor. Why? If these if it produces like this mechanical stresses as well as great vibrations in current and power drawn by the motor. So what happened if the oscillations of these time period oscillation amplitude of these oscillations is built up to a large value, then the motor comes out of the synchronism and the motor stops. So hunting is a objection phenomena. So what we have to do? We have to it produces mechanical stresses as well as greater vibration in power and current. So that's why we have to reduce the or eliminate the hunting. How we can eliminate? Hunting can be prevented by providing damper winding. This damper winding is also called, what is called, squirrel cage winding also. This damper winding consists of short circuited copper or aluminum bars embedded in the faces of a field poles as shown in figure. When hunting takes place, the oscillatory motion of the rotor sets up eddy currents in the damper winding, which flows in the winding in such a direction as to suppress the oscillation. And we have to keep that the damper winding resistance must be small as small as possible. So otherwise it will affect the efficiency. So this damper winding cannot prevent hunting completely because their operation depends on the presence of oscillation motion. So that's why, so by using this damper winding we can reduce the oscillations. So that is covered in the last class. So today we will check methods of starting of synchronous motor, applications of synchronous motor, merits and demerits of synchronous motor, and special features of synchronous motor. So these four topics we will cover today. So starting of synchronous motor. So so the synchronous motor is what we have. The synchronous motor is not self-starting. So why? Because not self-starting. Its average torque is zero at start. So for average torque, it is necessary to rotate at a speed very nearer to synchronous speed. So this is possible by using a various methods. So that means by the synchronous motor net self-starting. So to make it, what we have to do, we have to rotate this motor by using external methods so that it can start. So we have various methods. One is by using a pony motor, and next one is by using a small DC motor. Next one is by using damper winding. Next one is as a synchronous induction motor. So these methods are used to start the starting methods of synchronous motor. Oh, so as synchronous motor is not self-starting, it is therefore necessary to use external means to start the motor. So various methods of starting the synchronous motor are these one. By using pony motor, by using small DC motor, by using damper winding. So let us see one by one. So this is the shows how the wound rotor induction motor application as a crane. So first one is using pony motor. So in this method, the motor is brought to synchronous speed with the help of external device like small induction motor, such as external device is called pony motor. Induction motor used should have less number of poles. Then what happen? Then the speed of the induction motor will be more than the synchronous speed. That's why its number of poles must be less than the synchronous motor. So once the motor attains the synchronous speed, then what we have to do? That means first we have to start the we have to give the three-phase supply to the stator winding. Then what happen? It will produce a rotating magnetic field which produces magnetic poles which rotates at a synchronous speed. Then we have to rotate the rotor near to the synchronous speed, and we have to switch on the DC excitation. So then what happened? So once the motor is pulled into synchronism and starts rotating in synchronous speed, then pony motor is disconnected. The motor can continue to rotate at synchronous speed. So once again, I will repeat how we have to do the pony motor. That means a small direct coupled induction motor called pony motor is used for starting the synchronous motor. The induction motor frequently has two poles less than synchronous motor. to enable it to rotate near to synchronous speed. Then synchronous motor field is excited to synchronize the stator poles. So after that, the normal operation established. When the motor, when the rotor poles and the stator magnetic poles get magnetic lock each other, they starts rotating at a synchronous speed. Then the pony motor is disconnected from the synchronous motor. So next method is by using a small DC machine. So in this case, what we have to do? First, in this case, the synchronous motor is coupled and started with the DC machine. So the machine is used as DC motor to rotate the synchronous motor at a synchronous speed. The speed of the DC motor is adjusted by the regulator. Once the motor starts running at a synchronous motor, then the same DC machine act as a DC generator called as exciter. The field of the synchronous motor is then excited by the exciter itself. How we can? This is also same thing. In place of pony motor, we will use DC motor. So in this case, the synchronous motor is coupled and started by means of DC motor. The speed of the DC motor is adjusted by the speed regulator to bring the rotor of synchronous motor near the synchronous speed. Then the synchronous motor field is excited to synchronize with the stator poles. Once the synchronous machine starts as a motor, the DC motor is either disconnected from the motor or the field of the DC machine is strengthened until it begins to function as a generator. Usually, the lateral method is used because an exciter will be used to start a synchronous machine at the time of start. Now the synchronous machine is operating as a motor from AC supply mains and DC machine act as a load and exciter to excite it. So this is the way how it is used for a DC motor. Next one is by using damper winding. So actually previously we studied about this damper winding also. So why damper winding is used? What is the purpose? In the last class also we explained about this one. Are you remember? Just at the beginning also I told why damper winding is used. The damper winding is used to minimize the effect of hunting. So how it is used? A synchronous motor is made self-starting by providing a special winding on the rotor known as damper winding. This damper winding is used also for minimizing the hunting effect. So damper winding is utilized for both purpose. Either so it is useful for minimizing the hunting as well as starting the motor. So the synchronous motor is made self-starting by providing damper winding on rotor poles known as damper winding. So this shows the figure of the damper winding. This is the pole core. On this pole core, we have the pole bars like this. So all these pole bars are short circuited at both ends, and the pole contains a DC field winding, that is the excitation. If we give the supply to this field excitation, the rotor poles get more magnetized and it will attract the stator magnetic poles. Then what happened? Then magnetic locking will occur between rotor pole and stator magnetic field. Then what happened when both are get magnetic lock each other? The motor starts rotating at a synchronous speed. Note down the figure. Note down the figure. So we have to draw this figure for both prevention of hunting and as well as starting methods. If you practice once, it is useful for both. Okay, over. So damper winding. So how it is there? It consists of copper bars embedded in the faces of the field poles and short circuited at both ends by means of end rings as shown in figure. I will show once again here. This is the rotor face. On this face, it has the rotor bars, and these are short circuited at both ends by using this one and this one end rings on the pole face. So it consists of copper bars embedded in the faces of the field poles and short circuited at both ends by means of end rings as shown in figure. This winding as short circuited act as a squirrel cage rotor winding of a induction motor. So when three phase supply AC supply is given to the stator, it produces rotating magnetic field. What is the magnitude? Already we derived at the beginning, that is 1.5 times the maximum flux. So which causes the rotor to rotate at a subsynchronous speed. Therefore, in the beginning, it starts as a squirrel cage induction motor. Then DC supply is given to the field winding. At a particular instant, the motor gets pulled into synchronism. That means the rotor poles and the stator magnetic poles are locked each other and starts rotating at a synchronous speed. As rotor rotates at synchronous speed, the relative motion between the damper winding and the EMF is zero. Hence, when the motor is running as a synchronous motor, there cannot be any induced EMF and current in the damper winding also zero. So damper winding is active only at the time of starting to run the synchronous motor. Once the motor is running continuously, then what happen? Automatically, the current flowing to the damper winding is zero. So there is no losses. Afterwards, it is out of the circuit. So then because of this application, there is no losses on the damper winding. As the motor gets started as induction motor, it draws a high current. To limit this high starting current, reduced voltage is applied through an auto transformer or star delta starter. This is the method of starting off induction motor by using damper winding. So once again I am repeat this. So how it is? So by using damper method, first what we have to do, as shown in figure, to enable the synchronous machine to start independently as a motor, a damper of induction winding or squirrel cage winding is provided on the rotor poles. The damper winding consists of bars of copper, aluminum, bronze embedded in the slots made on the field poles and short circuited at both ends by end rings as shown in figure. So these short circuited bars form squirrel cage winding. When the stator winding is fed from three-phase supply, then it produces rotating magnetic field, causes the motor to start like squirrel cage induction motor. Once the motor is started as a induction motor and attains speed near the synchronous speed, then the field winding on the rotor is connected to the DC supply and excitation will be increased. Then what happened? The rotor poles gets more magnetic pole. The strength of magnetic poles increases. Then what happened? The rotor pulls into synchronism, that is interlocking the stator and rotor poles together and results to run as synchronous speed only. It starts rotating at a synchronous speed. So for this one, it is not like that. Simply you on the supply and the motor is started. For this one, we have to follow the following steps. First one is field winding is first what we have to do. We have to follow this procedure. First point. Field winding is kept unexcited and short circuited through resistance. Otherwise, high voltages is induced in the field winding during starting. Where the field winding is there on the rotor we have. So, so what is the first step? Field winding is kept unexcited and short circuited through a resistor. Otherwise, high voltage induced in the field winding during starting. So, next point, what is next point? Reduced voltage with the help of auto transformer starter should be supplied to the stator to limit the starting current. So, what we have to do? Second point, what we have to apply reduced voltage with the help of auto transformer or star delta starter should be supplied to the stator to limit the starting current. So that is the second point. So third point is the machine starts like a induction motor. The machine starts like a induction motor. So then fourth point, when the motor reaches near 90% to the rated speed, then A weak DC excitation should be applied by removing short circuited short circuit and should be gradually increased until the rotor pulls into synchronism. So what is the fourth step? What he is doing in the fourth step, the field winding, as in the starting, the field winding is short circuited with resistor. So now we have to remove this short circuit and we have to apply the DC excitation. We have to apply the DC excitation slowly and by removing the short circuit, and we have to apply the weak DC excitation and should be gradually increased. Then what happened when we are increasing gradually? When we are increasing gradually, the rotor poles are, what happened? The rotor poles, the rotor becomes powerful magnets, and both get magnetic locked each other and they starts rotating at synchron, that is called magnetic locking and pulled into synchronism. So then what we have to do? Then fifth point is full voltage should be applied across the stator. At the first what we applied, we applied reduced voltage to the stator. Reduced voltage we have applied to the stator by using star delta starter. So now what we have to, we have to remove the starter and we have to apply full voltage. That is the fifth point. Next, sixth point is the motor runs at synchronous speed only. Synchronous speed only and can be operated at any desired power factor. At any desired power factor. So that is the sixth point. So out of these methods, starting by damper winding method is the most common method used, commonly used method, since no auxiliary machine is needed. So that means external motor is not required. If you put external motor for this one, then what happened? If you put external motor, the cost increases. And for operation also we required a trained person. So for this one, it is a simple method and it is a commonly used. For this one, only internal damper winding is required and it's not required any external supply, any external motor. So we will use this. So that is the method of by using starting of synchronous motor by using damper winding. So next one is synchronous motor as a induction motor. So in this method, instead of short circuiting the damper winding, it is designed to form a three-phase star or delta connected winding. That means at the time of starting only, we will do the this type of modifications. The ends of the windings are brought out and connected to the slip rings. So the external rheostats that can be used to introduce in series with the rotor resistance. This is the figure. So this is the stator winding. It has a three-phase winding. It has a, and this one is the rotor winding. On this shaft we have the slip rings. On the slip ring, sorry, this is the shaft. On this one we have the slip rings. So slip rings one side is connected to the rotor winding. On the other side we kept the brushes. So from these brushes we connect the external resistance. External resistance, and that we will give the DC supply like this for excitation. After giving we have to vary this resistance automatically. At the time of starting, we will keep maximum resistance. Then what happened? It carries less current. As the motor picks up speed, automatically we reduce the resistance and the current increases and the magnetic field increases and the motor pulls into synchronism. So this is the how the figure is there. Note down the figure. In this method, we have to uh, always, when we are explaining the methods, we have to draw the figures. Note down this. Over. So, in this case, what we have to do? So, when stator is excited, the motor starts as a slip ring induction motor, as shown in figure 2. So, the starting distance is gradually cut off as motor gathers speed. When rotor attains speed near to the synchronous speed, then DC acceleration is applied to the rotor. Then motor gets pulled into synchronism and starts rotating at synchronous speed. Then the motor is called synchronous induction motor because it is started as slip ring induction motor and runs as a synchronous motor. The damper winding is short circuited by the slip rings and the internal resistance added in the rotor provides high starting torque at the time of starting, and this resistance also limits the starting current. So, if you see the applications of synchronous motor, so what is this applications of synchronous motor? So, it is used in powerhouses and substations in parallel to the bus bar to improve the power factor. For this purpose, it is run on no load with overexcitation. Such overexcited synchronous motors are referred to as synchronous capacitors or synchronous condenser. So this is the application of synchronous motor. So what is this one? It is used as a powerhouses and substations in parallel to the bus bar to improve the power factor. For this purpose, it is run on no load with overexcitation. Such overexcited synchronous motors are referred to as synchronous capacitor or synchronous condenser. So, to improve the power factor in the substations and the powerhouses, we have to run the synchronous motor at no load with over excitation. Then it will act as synchronous capacitors or synchronous condenser. So second point is in factories having large number of induction motors, then what happened? Then the overall power factor will be reduces. But according to electricity board norms, they have to maintain the power factor at particular limit. So at that time, what we have to do? Then we have to connect the synchronous motor in parallel with the bus bar. Then it is used for improving the power factor. So it is used as a synchronous condenser or synchronous capacitor in the first point. Next point is it is used as a improvement of the power factor. Next, the third one, it is used in rubber mills, textile mills, for air compressor, and next for air compressor in rolling mills and motor generator sets and small motors for electric clocks. So these are the applications: rubber mills, textile mills, as work as air compressor in rolling mills, motor generator sets and small motors for electric clock. Next, fourth one is it can be used to drive another alternator or generate electricity at a different frequency than the supply frequency. That means by using synchronous motor, we can change the supply frequency also. So in this case, it is known as frequency changer as it changes the supply frequency. So first point is it is connected in parallel with the bus bar in powerhouses to improve the connected in parallel and runs at no load with over excitation. Then what happened? It will act as a synchronous capacitor or synchronous condenser. So second point is where in large induction motor because of more induction motors it operates at a lagging power factor. So it is used to improve the power factor. Next third point is it is used as rubber mills where it is used in rubber mills, textiles mills, air compressor, in rolling mills, motor generator sets, and electric clocks. Small motors are used for electric clocks. Next, fourth one is it is used to drive another alternator or generator electrically at a different frequency. So normally we are getting 30 hertz. So we can change that frequency. So it is called frequency changer. So these four are the applications of synchronous motor. Next one is merits and demerits of synchronous motor compared with induction motor. So what is a merit? So first one is it is a constant speed motor. That means it will run at synchronous speed only. Otherwise the motor stops. And next one is it can be operated at any power factor that is both lagging and leading power factor. So these two are the merits of synchronous motor. The first one is constant speed. Next one is it can be operated at both the power factors that is lagging and leading power factors. Next is demerits. What is the demerits? First one is it is not self-starting. It is not self-starting as induction motor. So next point is it is costly. So why? Because the construction is cost. Another method is to start the motor also. We have to depend on external motors. So that one also increase the cost. And next one is it requires both AC and DC supply. AC supply is given to the stator winding, and DC excitation is given to the field winding which is there on the rotor. So next one is its construction is also complicated. Construction also complicated. So fifth one is skilled persons are needed to start and operate the motor. So it is not like that just only switch, put the on the switch and the motor starts rotating. Skilled persons are required to start and operate the motor. So these are the merits and demerits of synchronous motor compared with induction motor. What are the merits? First one is it is a constant speed motor. Second one is it can be operated both lagging and leading power factor. If you come to demerits, it is not self-starting. And next one is it is costly. Next one is it requires both AC and DC supply. Next one is construction is complicated. Fifth one is skilled persons are required to start and operate the motor. Next, salient features of synchronous motor. What is the first one? It is a constant speed motor. Next one is it can be operated at both lagging and leading power factor. Next one is it is operated at unity power factor. And next one is it is used as a synchronous condenser. And next one is fifth one is special arrangement is required for starting. So why? Because it is not a self-starting motor. Already just now we covered methods of starting the induction motor. First one is by using DC motor. Next one is by using pony motor. Next one is by using damper winding. And next feature is it needs both AC and DC supply. And next one is construction is complicated. It is not a simple construction. These are the features of synchronous motor. Next, what we have discussed till now, methods of starting of induction motor. What are the methods? First one is by using DC motor. Small DC motor is coupled with the shaft of the synchronous motor, and that is that the rotor is rotated near to the synchronous speed, and we have to give the weak DC excitation to the rotor. Then what happened? The rotor poles are excited and become more powerful magnet, and they will attract the stator rotating magnetic poles. Then these two gets magnetically locked each other and the motor starts rotating at synchronous speed. That is by using DC motor. And in case of a pony motor, we have used induction motor to rotate the rotor near the synchronous speed. Then what happened? Both will get magnetically locked each other and starts rotating at synchronous speed. Next one is by using damper winding. In this case, when you give the supply, the damper winding, because of the damper winding, it produces the torque, starting torque, and the motor starts as a induction motor. When the motor reaches near the synchronous speed, we have to give weak DC excitation. Then the rotor poles get magnetized and they are attracted or magnetically locked with the stator poles and starts rotating at synchronous speed. That is the methods of starting of synchronous motor. Next one is applications of synchronous motor. How? What are the applications? First one is it can be used as a synchronous capacitor or synchronous condenser. Second point is it is used as a power factor improvement. Next one is it is used in rolling mills, textile mills, and it is used as a small generators for electric clocks. And what is the fourth point? Fourth point, it is used as a frequency changer. It will change the supply frequency. Next one is merits and demerits of synchronous motor. What are the merits? Constant speed is one, and next one is it can be operated at both leading and lagging power factor. What is the demerits? Demerits are not self-starting. Next one is it is costly. Next one is it requires both AC and DC supply. Next one is construction is complicated. Next one is skilled person is required. And next one is features of the single. This is also we covered. And now what is the frequently questions he asked? He asked explain the methods of starting off induction motor. He will give for 5 marks or 10 marks. Next he will get next question is write the applications of synchronous motor. Next one is write the merits and demerits of synchronous motor. So these are the expected questions from this today's lesson. You read this one. If you have any doubt, ask me in the next class. Thank you.